Hello and welcome to Cyrils Brettspiele durchgespielt. My name is Nils. Today, in a nutshell edition, about damage report from Break from Reality games. And damage report, yeah, I wanted to really show you that game because damage report is one of my favorite co-op real-time games. Why is it a real-time game? Why is it a co-op game? Okay, that's an easy question and an easy answer. But the core of that game is this. An electronical timer. And this timer, depending on the scenario you're playing, runs usually 45 minutes. And after 45 minutes, the game is over. This timer gives you every 3 minutes an audio signal that there's another crisis coming up, but I explain it in a second. So this gives you a lot of pressure, but what I really like on it, first of all and upfront, is it's digital. No one has to take a look at all these sand timers. They are also included in the game, 6 of them, but let's take a closer look to that in a second. As you can see, there's so much in the box. So let's start over here. These are the large modules. These are the small modules. More or less it's corridors or airlocks. So then you have these 4 types of resources in the game, which is crystals, metal, circuit, and energy. These energy are really cool things. The crystals they are going into the supply boxes here, like this, and you place it on the board. That's very cool and handy. You have this 4 unique tools here. All are little plastic tools. So you have passenger tokens, you have these ship tokens if you have the launch zone in play. Then you have all of these damage tracker or crisis trackers here, or the space hull over there. What do you have else? You have these repair decks here in 5 different colors, and you can repair stuff with that. You have this damage report cards, which could be this. Every 3 minutes there's one of these crises coming up, or you have these here. This could be special events. The game over card out after 45 minutes. You have this module cards. They are only for determining where you're starting. You see that in a second. And you have 6 characters, 6 players with unique actions, and the standees for that, so they are running around. I have a promotional item. This is the puff balls, or I mean, you know what it is. It's tribbles, right? So these tribbles, but this is not included in the base game, just to let you know. So now I will set up a mission and show you just briefly how this setup works. One last thing, all of these modules are double-sided, not this one unfortunately. Sometimes I should be prepared a little bit better. This shields, again, okay, let's take, where is one? So this gallery, for an example, has on the other side life support. There is another life support in, and that doesn't have a backside. So some of these are double-sided, some of them not, depending on what it is. And you will see how it works in a second when I set up the game here. So this would be the setup for the scenario, a minor spot of trouble. Almost. So what we did is we are setting up all these models, putting these markers here on the bold number. So in this case here it's 60%, and you can flip it down or upshift. You put all these cards in here, this cargo tokens. You put all the supplies in here, the tools, all of that. Here you see always these little tokens. You also put out the ship hull and another alpha. Here you can see the R for alpha on it, just as indicators for the progress in the game. You also put out the ships in the ready area and so on. So now you take this module cards to determine which character is in which section of the board for starting. But we do that just right now randomly here. Blob, 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 and blob. So let's say it's like this, just randomly. Then you put in a sand timer, a small sand timer for each character, and you put the game over card at the bottom of this deck and 14 of this randomly on top. So now this scenario would be set up correctly. And what are the goals of a scenario like this? So you would win the game if you repair the hyperdrive, which is starting with 0%, up to 100%. All the way up to 100%. In addition, you have in this scenario asteroids to shoot down. So you have to go in the hangar deck, climb with your meeples, with your characters into the little runabouts, those little ships here, those support flight ships, and shoot down asteroids. You mark the asteroids over here, so when you kill 5 asteroids or shoot down 5 asteroids, all your characters are back in the ship and your hyperdrive is at 100%, then you immediately win the game. Very easy, right? Yeah, I mean, how could you lose? Yeah, well, I mean, first of all, if your life support goes down to 0%, everybody is dying. What a surprise. Second of all, if the hull is going down to 0%, I mean, your ship is maybe exploding, or if you're reaching the game end card before you really win the game. And there's one other loose condition: lose all your cargoes. So and now here's a catch in the game. Everybody is playing at the same time together. So when everybody is playing together, you flip over these things, and when the send timer is going down, it's exactly 15 seconds, then you put it to the next thing and flip it around. When you're in the green section, you can do an action. Just one action. Moving could be an action, and it's all printed on here, or your special action. And then you're looking in which life support condition you are right now. We are right now in yellow. So that means you put, when you did your action, it back to the yellow, and then the timer runs again, and it goes again here. If you're in the green section, every 15 seconds you can do an action. Every 30 seconds, every 45 seconds, and this means you have to take 1 minute before you can do one action. And again, actions could be running around, carrying up stuff, taking things to repair, and you have to repair here to go up 20%. You need all of that here. Or to repair the hyperdrive, also 20%, you need all that stuff here, and all that stuff goes in here. You use it there, and you try to build up your ship. So this is the game, the rules in a nutshell. I will highly encourage you to go to a very, very, very good instructional video. I put it in my comments, so yeah, it should be down in my comments, so read out there. It's a really good instructional videos. So again, in all of my in a nutshell editions, I will talk a little bit about my personal experience with this game. And first of all, I have to admit, I always love and like real-time games where you are so under time pressure. I really like that. For me, 45 minutes is the absolute maximum for real-time games, because I'm always so much under pressure that my full body is in that game, so I'm sweating, I feel the pressure. Even if you're thinking 15 seconds, sometimes 30 seconds is not to do just one action, it's not a lot of time, but you're always doing some stuff. So, and then, oh wait, the damage report is flipping over, so you have to flip over this card and adjust it. Oh, if that is a shield is 50% or below, so you have to take a look, shields are 50%, then you get this reduction, or otherwise you get this reduction. So it's, oh wow, no, it's 50% or up, so, or this one. Anyway, so and all that happens, so it's such a stress. You hear I'm going into stress right now. So it's such a stressful thing, all these real-time games, but I really, really like it. Space Theme is not really new in this type of game, but it's perfect. It's a perfect environment for that. I also like the fact that you cannot do really a lot of on your turn, just one movement. I mean, how stupid is that? But on the other hand, that takes a little bit of this pressure. What I also really like on that game is that I mean, they had built in so much good stuff. The components is one part, so I mean, all of that feels really good. But what they supported you so good in not making mistakes. So when you're taking up this product, you put it in here, and you see on your screen this guy can, or this Professor Frank A. Barber can only carry 4 things. Dr. Monica Boyd 5, the strong guy 7, and Kelly can also take 5. So it there is no way to make mistakes because it's so easy. Also, when you pick up metal here, this one, you place it here and you see it covers 2 spaces. So it's very easy. The same with the tools. It covers 2 spaces. So it's so easy to understand how this game works because the product and the components support you so well with it. Another really interesting fact on that game is that you can play this characters right or left-handed, so right or left-handed. So whatever you're being, so right-handed or left-handed, whatever, and put it on the other way around if you're coming from here. So that really supports you in putting these things in here. I really like that fact. That is also a very tiny little good thing. So let's go over to enjoy. Did I enjoy the game? I have to say almost always. This scenario I built up is one of the scenarios I don't really like. Why I set it up? Just because there's a lot of stuff going on. But it's recommended for 4 to 6 players. No, for 5 to 6 players. And for me, a 5 or even 6 player game with a game like this where stress is sending out around the table. This is for me, sorry, a little bit too much. It's a perfect game for exactly 4 player for me. 4 player is a perfect number. You can around the table sit on every single corner. 1 player can sit there and play the game, going into his personal stress and out of their comfort zone. But yeah, again, I really like it. The only downtime for that, or the only bad thing on that game, is that there are only 5 missions in the rulebook. However, it encourages you to create new scenarios and build up new scenarios, but this is always a little bit critical. I mean, at the end of the day, 5 scenarios is good because every scenario, depending on this damage report cards and also depending on these cards, so what you need there, that is always unique. So 5 scenarios is a lot of. And in addition, keep in mind I have this special extra scenario, so this is a 6th scenario. That's really a lot of. But on the other hand, I really wanted to see sometimes a little bit more. But anyway, I think that's a luxury problem, right? So at the end of the day, I have to say I really like real-time games. I really like space theme. What can I expect more than this game? And Damage Report delivers. Damage Report is exactly what I wanted to see from a game. There's a little bit of exception. It's a tiny little bit too long for me. There's one scenario with 33 minutes in it. But anyway, so I wanted to see a little bit shorter scenarios, even if the setup takes a little bit longer. But anyway, Damage Report exactly delivered, and exactly it is what it should be. A stressful, a really competitive game, not competitive in terms of player versus players, a full co-op game, but competitive against the game. So, and it's really good scale. Even if you wanted to scale by yourself, in the rulebook there are some special minor things you can adjust to make it harder or easier. So I have to say I really like Damage Report. I really like to play Damage Report a lot of, because this is exactly right up my alley. Thanks for watching Cyrils Brettspiele durchgespielt. My name is Nils, and I guess you felt my pressure in my voice this time, my desire for that game. So see you next time for the next In a Nutshell, or even a walkthrough, whatever comes next. See you. Bye bye.